Hello again. In this video we are going to talk about comparatives. What is a comparative? A comparative is when you have two things, right? And as the word says, you are going to compare. So we are going to learn how we are going to do this. So first, let's see this picture about this place that is called Valle de Ángeles. So what are we going to do with this picture? We are going to describe this place. Describe, it means that you are going to say adjectives, right? Because remember that an adjectives help me to describe, to say characteristics, right? About a place, a person, or a thing. So the adjectives or the words that we can say that describe this place that is Valle de Ángeles, we're going to say that it's beautiful. We can say that it's cold. We can say that it's near. If you live here from Tegucigalpa, right? You can say that it's near. Or also you can say that it's small because it looks like a small town. So let's continue. This is about Valle de Ángeles. But what about this picture? Do you know where it is it? Yes, right? As the name said, is a Choluteca. So we are going to describe now this place. We are going to do the same, right? Say words that describe this place. ¿Cuáles son los adjetivos o cosas que podríamos decir que describen a este lugar? Uno de ellos decimos que es hot, right? If you live here in Tegucigalpa, you can say that it's far. And also it is big, right? It's more like a city. So now that we have the adjectives about Valle de Ángeles and about Choluteca, vamos a ver qué pasa si los comparamos. Let's see some examples here. Here we have the first one that, remember, it's Valle de Ángeles. Now here we have Choluteca. And what are we going to do? We are going to compare. ¿Cómo vamos a hacer eso? Si recuerdan, we are talking about Valle de Ángeles and Choluteca. So the first one, it says, Valle de Ángeles is more beautiful than Choluteca. Choluteca is hotter than Valle de Ángeles. Valle de Ángeles is smaller than Choluteca, and Choluteca is farther than Valle de Ángeles. Valle de Ángeles is colder than Choluteca. What does it mean? Here, we are not talking about just Valle de Ángeles or just Choluteca. In this case, we are comparing, right? So we are talking about Valle de Ángeles and Choluteca, but we are comparing, right? That's why we are going to talk about comparatives. ¿Por qué? Porque ya los estamos comparando. ¿Cuál es el más bonito? ¿Cuál es el más helado? ¿Cuál es el más cerca? ¿Sí? Entonces en este caso decimos Valle de Ángeles, it's more beautiful, right? Than Choluteca. Choluteca is hotter, right? Es más caliente que Valle de Ángeles. Valle de Ángeles is smaller. Decíamos que era más pequeño que Choluteca. Choluteca is farther than Valle de Ángeles, and Valle de Ángeles is colder than Choluteca. Pero si se fijan aquí, estas palabritas que tengo in color red, they are different. They are not just hot. They are not just small, far, or cold. As you can see, here we have some changes. We said more beautiful, hotter, smaller, farther, and colder. Why do you have to change these words? It's because you are talking about two places. En este caso ya no solo decimos adjetivos, sino que como estamos comparando, esos mismos adjetivos tuvieron cambios. Ya nos decimos Valle de Ángeles is beautiful than Choluteca. If you are going to compare, you have to say more beautiful, not just beautiful. Yeah. So let's see what are the rules that you have to follow to compare. In this case, to change the adjectives into a comparative adjectives. Porque como le decía anteriormente, todo proviene siempre de un adjetivo, ¿sí? Y después lo cambiamos porque lo vamos a utilizar pues para comparar dos lugares, dos cosas o dos personas, right? Remember, we said Choluteca is hot, yeah? And that's it, if you are going to talk about just one place. But if you are going to compare, now we are going to say Choluteca is hotter. If you can see, I changed the word hot into hotter. Cold, now it's going to be colder. Valle de Ángeles is colder than Choluteca. Small, we are going to say now smaller. Big, now it's bigger. Beautiful is more beautiful. Far, we can say that is farther. Okay, so those are the adjectives that we change into a comparative adjectives because we want to compare. But how we are going to do these changes? Remember that we have to follow some rules. The first one, as you can see here, I have short and I have cold, right? Do you remember the words? As you can see, those are feminine adjectives. But here, instead of say short, if you are going to compare, you are going to say shorter. If you are going to say an adjective, I can say cold. Pero si lo van a comparar con algo, si necesitan ese adjetivo para decir, este lugar es más frío, we are going to say colder, no more cold, sino que colder. ¿Cuál es la primera reglita entonces? Dice the first one. It says that if you have one syllable adjectives, because remember, all of those words comes from an adjective. If you have one syllable adjective, most of them you are going to add only er, because er is the ending for the comparatives, right? Short, shorter, cold, colder. Now what happened here? Fíjense bien, big es también un solo adjective de una sola sílaba, pero ¿qué pasa? Si tenemos consonant, vowel, consonant, we are going to double the last consonant and we are going to add er, because er is the comparative ending, right? The same example with hot. Hot, it's one syllable adjective. Un adjective en este caso de una sola sílaba, pero fíjense que tenemos consonant, right? Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. So we are going to double the last consonant and we are going to write er. What about busy? Yeah? Busy, it's a word that it's at the end we have a letter Y, so we are going to erase it and we are going to add I, E, R. So that's going to be the third rule, but remember it has to be consonant here, right? Busy, letter Y, and before we have a consonant and we are going to erase it and we are going to add I, E, R. What about beautiful? Dangerous. If you can see here, we have more than one syllable adjective. Beautiful. We have more than one syllable adjective. If we have more than two, in this case, syllable adjectives, we are going to add, right, as the rule says, two or more syllable adjectives, we are going to add more. Talking about comparatives, it is important that you remember that you are going to use more. La mayor parte del tiempo tendemos a utilizar more cold, more short, porque simplemente hacemos la traducción de más helado, más bonito, más caliente. But remember, more, solo vamos a utilizar more cuando tengamos más de dos sílabas en un adjetivo. Por eso decimos more beautiful, more dangerous, more intelligent, more interesting, right? Siempre que sea more, two or more syllables adjectives, we are going to use the word more. Si no es así, pues vamos a seguir las reglitas anteriores. Ahora bien, ¿qué pasa con algunas palabritas que no siguen la regla? Ellos van a ser irregular adjectives. Por ejemplo, we have good. Good, we are going to say that is better. Yo no puedo decir I am more good than you. No, you have to say I am better than you instead of say good, right? Or gooder. No, you have to say better. This is an irregular, es decir, va a cambiar así siempre. Instead of say bad, right? If we are going to compare, we are going to say worse. Today it's worse than yesterday. Yeah, I didn't say today is more bad than yesterday. Worse is the same, or the word that we are going to use to compare. Far, it's an irregular. We can say farther or further, right? It's an irregular. So those are the three adjectives that we have that are irregulars. Remember that all the words that we are using comes from an adjective, see? So let's continue. Okay, here we are going to analyze some examples because it is important to take your notes, right? Here I have, for example, my mother is older than me. As you can see, my comparative adjective. The main adjective is old, but I'm comparing my mother and me. So I'm going to say older than me. San Pedro Sula is more dangerous than Santa Lucía. La Esperanza is colder than Islas de la Bahía. You are taller than me. English class is easier than math class. So as you can see, all of those red words are comparative adjectives. ¿Sí? Si se fijan, simplemente los cambié agregando ER. Claro, siempre utilizando las reglitas. Ahora bien, if we analyze some examples that we had before, we are going to learn what are the important things that we have to take in account when you are going to compare. For example, here I have a sentence that it says, Choluteca is hotter than Tegucigalpa. As you remember, one of the most important things that you have to take in account is your comparative adjective. It is impossible if you are going to compare, just use an adjective. You are not going to use Choluteca is hot than Tegucigalpa. You are going to change the adjective hot and you are going to make a comparative adjective. And also remember, if you are going to compare, the most important thing is that you need two things. ¿Ya? En este caso, necesitamos dos lugares, dos cosas, dos personas, porque es una comparación, estamos comparando, right? Entonces necesitamos esos dos lugares, en este caso tengo Choluteca y Tegucigalpa. ¿Qué es lo que estamos comparando en este caso? Yo pienso en un adjetivo, por ejemplo. ¿Qué adjetivo se me viene a la mente cuando digo Choluteca? Is hot, right? Decimos que Choluteca es very hot. Pero si ya lo voy a comparar, ya no voy a decir hot, sino que hotter than Tegucigalpa. I have my comparative adjective. Y otra cosita importante que deben de tomar en cuenta es que siempre vamos a utilizar la palabrita than. Si recuerdan en todas las oraciones anteriores, I have them in color blue. So, my mother is older than me. San Pedro Sula is more dangerous than me. La Esperanza is colder than Islas de la Bahía. And you are taller than me, right? Always I'm using than. So you have to use always, guys. You have to pay attention. You have to have two things if you are going to compare, comparative adjective and also the word than to compare, right? So if you are going to practice, please practice on your book on pages 31, 32, 34 and 35, right? It is important to practice. In this ways you are going to practice different things. How you are going to change adjectives into a comparative adjective following the rules, right? There you can find new words and you only have to follow the rules. The other one is that you are going to learn how to or practice how to make sentences and remember the important details, right? This is just for you to practice. Now let's see what it's going to be next. As you can see here, it says homework. Yes, you are going to have homework. In this case, listen what are you going to do. It's that you are going to choose two pictures of places, people, things, and you are going to paste them in a Word document. Make as many sentences to compare as you can. ¿Qué es lo que van a hacer en este caso? Igual las instrucciones van a estar un poquito más explicadas en Schoology y also en el campus virtual. Pero simplemente para ayudarles un poquito a hacer las tareitas o aclararles un poquito. Siempre vamos a elegir en este caso dos lugares, dos personas o dos cosas. Las dos cosas que ustedes quieran elegir. Dos carros, dos lugares, dos casas, dos personas, right? Y vamos a pensar primero en adjetivos, así como hicimos al inicio de la presentación. Adjetivos para esas personas, adjetivos para esos lugares. Y ya después formamos las oraciones recordando siempre to change the adjectives into comparative adjectives and also to use the word than. Yes? Igual van a tener más instrucciones en el campus virtual y en Schoology, porque es por Schoology que me la van a entregar. Van a tener igual la fecha de entrega y si tienen más consultitas, igual siempre lean todo lo del campus porque ahí van a tener un poquito más de explicación.